So one of my favorite genres is documentaries. To me, documentaries are so special. They can change a person's life. They can change a community. They can influence society and lawmakers. That's how powerful they are. That's how powerful this medium of film and video is if done correctly. And we're going to take a look at 3 documentaries that have done just that have changed people's lives. The first movie I'm going to talk about is The Thin Blue Line. The Thin Blue Line was directed by documentarian Errol Morris. And he looked at a case in Texas concerning this man called Randall Dale Adams. And Adams was convicted of murdering a police officer. Now, during the making of the movie, Errol Morris used interviews, and he also recreated scenes from the interviews of the witnesses. And you can see in the making of it that some of these witnesses actually committed perjury. They said one thing in court, and when Morris was interviewing them, they said a different thing. With the release of this movie, Adams got so much publicity from it that he was able to get his death sentence overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1980. He had already spent 12 years in prison prior to that. Even Randall Dale Adams was quoted as saying, "The man you see before you is here by the grace of God. The fact that it took 12.5 years and a movie to prove my innocence should scare the hell out of everyone in this room. And if it doesn't, then that scares the hell out of me." In the end, Randall Dale Adams died of a brain tumor in 2010. The End of the Line is a documentary about our world's oceans and how we are overfishing them almost to the extinction of certain species. The documentary follows several different countries and how basically we will not be sustained in the future, and we're harvesting all the fish. All the bluefin tuna, for example, is almost extinct. And what's happened after the film was released is that there was just amazing consumer awareness. If we overfish our oceans, they are not going to come back. Some species will never come back. Consumers became more alert about what they were buying. And also stores, some store managers, as well as store CEOs, saw the movie, realized what was going on, realized that consumers wanted to play a part in this, and they started selling sustainable fish only. So the film really had a strong impact all over the world. This is one of my favorite documentaries. It's called Paradise Lost: The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills. It's a fantastic documentary, and you should really look into it, because this documentary has really raised quite an awareness in the Arkansas community as well as all around the world for these 3 teenagers who were accused of killing 3 boys in the woods. The boys were found naked and hogtied, and it was a really horrible murder of 3 innocent boys. And immediately the community went into kind of a witch hunt. They were all arrested and they were all charged with the murder of these 3 boys. And Bruce Sinofsky and Joe Berlinger did this documentary on what was called the West Memphis 3. And there was no evidence on it, no evidence at all. And it was just based on like nothing. But yet they were convicted in a court of law. Damien Echols, considered the ringleader of the West Memphis 3, was sentenced to the death penalty, and the other 2 boys were sentenced to life in prison. So what the documentarians did is they revisited this subject years later in a movie called Paradise Lost 2: Revelations. And so this created a lot of publicity for this film. And celebrities became involved. Henry Rollins became involved. Johnny Depp became involved. Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder became involved. And they all started doing free concerts because they didn't believe that these guys killed these boys. Finally, after 18 years of spending time in prison, Damien Echols spent all those 18 years in solitary confinement. The boys were released on something called an Alford plea agreement. Basically, the prosecutor lets them go free, but does not admit that they're innocent.